what's going on Facebook. It's me, Kevin from Kevin's Corner. And I'm back. Because I got unfinished business, man. So, tonight, I got to put on my man hat. That's what I got to do. I got to put on my man hat. So, if you are out there and you're just joining the show, welcome to the show. Give a couple people a few minutes to get the notification. That is, if they do get notifications. Unfortunately, CNN has potential to do things like not send out notifications. Also want to make sure that you all can hear me loud and clear. My mic sound nice, check 1. My mic sounds nice, check 2. All right, can y'all hear me? Breaker 19. Louis, Roger that. Louis Armstrong. All right, so people can hear me. Okay, now that means it's about to get physical. Once I go through my checklist, there's no turning back, y'all. Once you get locked into this roller coaster, it's over. You got to go for the ride, man. That's all you can do is just go for the ride. So, I'm going to save my man hat for moments throughout the show. People who earn the man hat, see. Now, if this is your first time to my show, hit that like button, share my video, follow me. Also subscribe to my alternative channels just in case things take a turn for the worse on this channel. Also, these are converted into podcasts. So you're always welcome to listen to me while you're driving. Now, see that notification thing is going to drive me crazy, and I don't know how to turn it off, but I'm going to roll with it until after the show. So if y'all keep hearing that bing, okay, y'all know what that is. I mean, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not. I don't even know what that the crap is. It makes me mad. All right, now, last night we were talking about, what was it? CNN's town hall meeting. But, you know, before I always get into the meat and potatoes, there's always some subtopics that I like to cover just to make sure we stay frosty. That's all. Just to make sure we stay on our toes. We don't want to get caught slipping. So before we get into recapping the town hall meeting, of course, we're aware that the immigration problem is a mess, all due to Joe Biden and Chameleon. So we want to cover that just in case there are some ignorant people out there that might stumble across my channel and say, what is this black guy talking about? You know what? He's probably a sellout and watch the beginning of this video and say, what? I didn't know the Dems was doing that. Maybe I should rethink my voting choices. So welcome to the show, everybody. I've seen Philippines, I've seen PA, all of that. And I ran across somebody who watches my show today in Youngstown. Couldn't believe it. They said, it was like, Kevin, stop. Like, uh-oh, what did I do? It was like, I watch your show all the time. It's like, thank you. You're friendly fire. Good. Okay. All right, so let's get it. It's Friday. We might as well get loose. Might as well get loose. I don't know about y'all. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Do your best, let me show some respect. Gorillas in here, gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. And there's some dummies too in here, meaning in this country, as they stink it up, making life tough for all of us, starting off with the head chief dummy himself.
By American companies home and abroad for manufacturing clean energy to build semiconductors thanks to the hard work of
Thanks
to the hard work of
y'all hear that? You hear that new word? Thanks to the hard worker. Oh, there you go. That guy right there is the so-called leader of the free world.
Chuck Schumer and Governor Hochul. You ever imagined that his great-great-great-grandson would return 200 years later as president of the United States of America?
And he barely could get through that sentence. His great-great-great-great-grandson was it. Good grief, man. Get the marbles out of your mouth, Joe. Dang on it, marble mouth Joe.
And I want to thank you.
I want to thank you. What is he talking about, Sanka? Y'all remember Sanka coffee? I want to thank you. Good grief, man. So I think he is starting to decline a little more rapid than we thought because he could no longer pronounce thank you. I want to thank you.
I want to thank you. And I want to thank you. And hope, and thus far,
let's see if you do it again.
It seems to be working a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a new word, man. Thank you. See, there it is, y'all. But there's nothing wrong with this man. he's totally capable to run the country. If he could just learn to pronounce words that he's been pronouncing all his years until his brain just went into retirement. So now it's thank you. Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
want to be very clear.
Oh, so there we go. So not just Joe, but his whole administration sucks, which we're about to find that out. We all knew it, but we're going to really expose it right now when it comes down to this immigration crap. Because this right now, man, is at the top of the list of problems in America. Very high up. So I found some clips that's going to be exposing this that I think are good to refer to. So starting off with Mucus. Y'all remember him? There he is. That's the guy right there that's being used. The puppet. So let's see what Mucus got to say.
Our borders are not open.
Going back to October of last year, there were more than 1 million apprehensions, but then there were also more than 530,000 gotaways.
More than 1 million apprehensions, but also over 535,000 gotaways. But our border is not open. Do the cartel members know that? What about all the illegals? I mean, if the border wasn't open and you were sending a strong message, I don't think they would all be parked right on the other side waiting for their entry. I don't think they would be doing that. I mean, imagine, guys, if you said, man, I got to run to the store. And all of a sudden, something pops up on your screen and says, the store is not open. Would you still go? That's my question. Would you still go? If you said, let me see what time Walmart closes, okay, 11 o'clock. It's 11:05, it's closed. Well, you know what? I'm going anyway because they're going to let me in. You think they would do that? So my point is for this man to say the border is closed. No, it's not closed. They know it's not closed. Maybe they all got a secret little message, probably the little phones or text message or the app or whatever that Mucus built for them to make it more proficient for him. Maybe he's like, don't worry about when I say the border is closed. Trust me, it is open.
That's roughly the size of the population of the city of Baltimore. How can you say that the border is not open?
Because I'm a liar and I do not care. I'm going to try to gaslight the American people. All those humans right there, all those getaways, all those apprehensions, and the border is closed.
So we removed, returned, and expelled 1.4 million people last year. Ask those 1.4 million people if they think the border is open. Our apprehension rate at the border is consistent with the apprehension rate in prior years.
No, it's not. See, it was not consistent. Mucus is the amount of people who's coming. It's the greatest amount ever. So, of course, it's going to balance itself out. I mean, if you're having about 17 million people try to come across the border and you're bragging because, look, we apprehended 100 of them, but we're doing stuff. No, Mucus. You're giving us the runaround, man. That's all you're doing. You're trying to make it seem like we should celebrate these little minor victories. And the problem with that, sending these folks back over, how many of those folks go right back over? Okay, you want me to go over here and stay for what? How long before I come back? Oh, so I just got to go back right now and then come right back? Okay, hold up, man. Don't leave. Don't leave. I'm coming right back. There it is. Yeah, I've been deported. Now I'm back for my asylum. That's what you call it? Deported? Most of all of the murders and stuff that we find out done by illegals, you'll probably find out they were sent away. They were deported and they came back 5 times, 6 times, just like the criminals in Democrat cities who are just doing all kind of crazy stuff. You'll find they've probably been locked up 5 or 6 times, but for some reason, let them out. Unbelievable.
CBP sources tell me in the last 3 days in a row, Border Patrol has made at least 10,000 migrant apprehensions. Those are the highest daily totals ever recorded. Fox is also told...
So why is that, Mucus? Why did they all seem to wait until you got in to test you? I mean, are you that sorry? Are they perceiving you to be weak and can't get your will across? That's what it is. Or could it be they're perceiving that you want them to come? That's what it is. You want them here, Mucus. So don't you be trying to sit up there and act all tough, because if that's the case, they're disrespecting you. I would feel some kind of way if I was over the border and they was all parked on the other side talking about, oh yeah, we coming, we coming. That means I didn't send a stern enough message. That means you're about to test me. That means you ain't taking me seriously enough. You ever seen a little kid where they want to grab something and you're standing there telling them, don't touch that. And they looking at you with that little kid hand about to do it anyway, like what you gonna do about it? That right there is the ultimate defiance. You're sitting there going, now, I just told you not to touch that. And you gonna grab it anyway. I wish you would. If you grab that. Now, if that kid grabs whatever it is they've been told not to grab and you do nothing, what massage did you just send to that kid? Soon as that little kid hand touches whatever it is, if it's a face, you got to go to work. Now, I said don't touch it. They'll think twice the next time. But with this dude, that border is closed yet. You interview these people and they're like, no, we all know the border's open. Trust me. Unreal.
In the coming days, we can expect to see the largest wave of mass releases the U.S. has ever seen.
We prepared for this moment for almost 2 years.
You sure have, Mucus. We've been breaking the border and removing all the restrictions that would slow down illegal immigration for 2 years. We have prepared for this, and we are now excited that it is about to happen. This fool, if this is what you call being prepared for 2 years, then you suck at your job. You shouldn't have to prepare for all of these people coming into the country, Mucus. You know why? Because they shouldn't be coming.
And our plan will deliver results.
Oh, yeah. The diabolical plan to increase our population with illegal immigrants that hopefully will become Democrat voters. That's your plan?
It will take time for those results to be fully realized, and it is essential that we all take this into account.
No. We already see the results of the plan. It's not taking time. Y'all are trying to work against the clock right about now, Mucus. That's what you're doing. You're sitting there going, just in case we get voted out, we got to pack the house, man. They were probably so mad that Title 42 got extended. They're slowing down things. I mean, heck, well, how many we got so far? 6 million? Oh, by now we thought we'd had 12. If it wasn't from that pesky Title 42. So they remove it, and what happens?
I spent
This guy.
about close to an hour with the Mexican president today. We're doing all we can. The answer is it remains to be seen. We've gotten overwhelming cooperation from Mexico. We also are.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, Joe. Trump got cooperation from Mexico when he said, hey, man, keep these folks down there. You understand that? Don't let them come across them. They're going to stay in Mexico. Trump got results. Trump got results when some of them South American countries was talking about, nah, y'all got to keep our criminals. Y'all got to keep MS-13. What? Okay, well, you won't be getting your money. We'll keep that too. Senior Trump, we were just kidding. Come on, man. You don't have a sense of humor. Come on, send those MS-13 back here now. Immediately. Those were results. This guy gonna take time. Met with Mexico. There's not. Now, you already know that meeting was just for whatever. I mean, it was probably like, now, keep sending them. Because I would feel disrespected if my neighbor was allowing folks to walk right through their yard, right into my house. They're sitting there watching them go by. They never warned me. They never say, man, what are you doing? Don't be going through my yard, man. Hold up. Why are you going into my neighborhood? How did they get here, Joe? Most of them walked through Mexico or was brought to Mexico or flew into Mexico. And Mexico is letting it happen. Notice they stopped it under Trump. But for some reason now, they just can't do anything. They cannot stop it anymore. Isn't that interesting?
In the process of setting up offices in Colombia and other places where someone seeking asylum can go first. So, but it remains to be seen. It's going to be chaotic for a while.
It's going to be chaotic for a while. We're setting up offices where people can go and apply for asylum and stuff like that. So bear with us. It's going to be chaotic for a while. It's been chaotic, Joe, since day one. It's been chaotic since that bum got in office and immediately said, search the border. There you go. That's what caused it to be chaotic. Why do you think they had shirts printed talking about Joe Biden? We're on our way. We're coming. Why do you think they did that, Joe? Huh? So here he is talking about it's going to be chaotic. You got to bear with this and all of that stuff. Now, these people really all should be brought up on charges. This right here is such a violation of our sovereignty. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they somehow have gaslit a whole bunch of Americans to where they're not recognizing that this isn't something that can't be solved. This is something being done on purpose. These folks are out there saying it is a big problem. It's chaotic. I mean, we can't fix it immediately. Yes, you can. See, if you're going to talk about it's a problem, we can't fix it immediately, then what you're really saying is America is weak. We are that weak to where we can't even defend our own border. All you have to do is put it in a different context. What if these were straight up enemies coming across the border? If this was Russians or China's army or Kim Jong-un's army, if these people were coming, I'm sure we could stop that from happening. We'll be able to secure the border then, but for some reason now, we just can't do it. No drones, no nothing, no serious threats of retaliation, huh? Nothing. I'm telling you right now, if Trump gets back in, you got to go all the way live on the dang on cartel. Let their tails have it. Declare them domestic or semi-domestic terrorists. Put them on that list so they are watching and looking up at the sky all the time. We ain't even got to send a whole bunch of troops down there. All you got to do is say, hey, man, don't be bringing your people this way. Don't be bringing your drugs this way. Now, let me give a warning to all of the citizens that are drug dealers who think we're still playing. Here's your last warning. When people come to our border, we're assuming that you got to be some type of mule, some type of cartel member, because we told the cartel, if we see anybody coming to this border, you better look up. You better look up. So, citizens, if you think it's that important for you to become an American citizen, we're going to react under the assumption that you are a combative enemy. Yeah, because see, the cartel, they might still take the risk, but the regular citizens, try to get them to say, don't you do it. Don't do. We can't. If we can't determine who's with the cartel and who's just an immigrant, then we're going to err on the side of caution. You throw out a threat like that, I guarantee you, the regular folks that's coming for a better life, they're going to say it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. Not to mention, if I make it past all of that, I'm going to get to the border and it won't be all right. What's your name? Never mind. Here's a slip. Come on in. See you in about 3 years. It ain't going to be that. It's going to be like, how'd you get past the drones and the wall and the guards and all of that stuff? You're a pretty lucky legal immigrant there, buddy. However, we're going to go ahead and send you right back through the obstacle course. There you go. Problem solved. What does this lady got to say?
Again, that we went last year is because there were some signs that Title 42 might end up going by the wayside, depending on what was making its way through the courts and what the Biden administration was going to do. And when you talk to migrants, some of them, not all of them, but some of them actually were mentioning by name Title 42. And that's another thing the media gets wrong. I mean, these are very smart people, savvy people who have made these trips, and they have a lot of agency. They're educated. They know what they're talking about. And so just that fact alone, that they will mention Joe Biden by name, Title 42 by name in so many cases, tells you how much worse that this could get.
Now, you see that? But yet, they know that the border's closed, right? Yet, you had Mucus and Garland and all of them trying to censor us, get that dis and misinformation czar going on, talking about that we are trying to protect dis and misinformation on the internet because the cartels use the internet sometime to, and I'm going, no, the cartels don't need to use the internet. You guys send that message. You don't think these illegal immigrants don't have Wi-Fi? They don't see you all up here working hard to make it easy for them. They work harder to make it easy for these people than these people working hard to get here. They're like, how can we circumvent the Constitution? How can we circumvent the law? How can we make it easier for them, more convenient? What kind of resources can we allocate towards bringing them here and getting them here and sending them all over the place? They worked hard for these illegal immigrants. Look at this. Wow. They get bus rides. Everybody, underlay. Welcome to America. Come on in, man. It's our country, y'all.
It is a both sad and tragic day.
Now, here's the funny part. That's when Abbott dropped them off up there in Martha's Vineyard. Here's Mucus' reaction to that.
When a government official uses migrants as a pawn for political purposes.
Boy, I tell you, that dude's a comedian. It's a sad day when government officials uses migrants as pawns. That's what the Democrats do. In fact, they do that with everybody. All of us, if it was up to them, would be a means to an end. We would all be pawns. Nobody is dang on excluded when it comes down to people that they will use. So here he is, the biggest hypocrite ever, knowing all the carnage that comes from encouraging these people to come. But he don't care. None of those Democrats care. They're like, you know what, so what? If they take the risk and die on the way, what that got to do with us? Long as we can get at least 75, 80% of them in, we're good. Oh, look at this. This is when they dropped them off at Chameleon Kamala's crib. I would have told them, now listen, go up to the doorbell, ring it, ding dong, we come to see Chameleon Harris. We want to hear her laugh. We saw her on TV, cackling, and she told us to come for a better life because she's compassionate. Excuse me, sir, why are you a white man opening her door? Because she's a soul sister, right? What, you're her husband? No way, man. See, yeah, I guarantee you, she would have said, beat it immediately. So here we go. What's going on down here?
News breaking overnight. A federal judge in Florida granting State Attorney General Ashley Moody a temporary restraining order to stop the mass release of migrants into the United States. Customs and Border Protection is calling the order, quote, harmful, and says it will result in overcrowding at CBP facilities.
Yeah, you hear that? So they sued for a stay. Like, hold up, man. This is not constitutional. I don't care what excuses y'all are giving to bring all these people and just dump them into the community and in our interior. Now, we're going to go ahead and sue to stop this stuff right now. Put a halt on it. And yet, somebody from Homeland, I guess, said this is harmful. It's going to go ahead and cause some constipation in our flow. Well, that's what it's supposed to do. The flow wouldn't be constipated if y'all would have did the right thing. So I guess it might be a little slowdown or a stop on it. I'm not sure. Let's listen.
Joining me right now for First on Fox Business interviews, the Florida Attorney General herself, Ashley Moody, is here. AG, great to see you. Thanks very much. Tell us more about this.
Yeah. Great to see you. Yeah, you remember, Maria, when Florida started calling out the administration right after Biden got elected as they asked for less detention capacity and started mass releasing people into the United States. We sued.
Well, as you should. So let me understand this. The border is closed. We're doing everything we can to secure it by making it more easier. We want less retention capacity. We don't want to hold these people in some type of retention or some type of camp or whatever. We want to be able to and release them into the interior. See, that's what we really want to do. Now, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to eliminate all the things that would slow down this process? Do you understand how many people are coming across our border without even being vetted? I mean, these people are slime balls, man. And I'm trying to be nice on the words that I use because I don't want the internets to get me.
They were releasing people saying they had prosecutorial discretion to do that. It wasn't in violation of federal law. We took them to court. A judge said, no, it's in violation of federal law. It directly contradicts your obligation to secure the border, detain these folks.
And because apparently they done forgot. Apparently they done forgot what their obligation is. Apparently they don't know what they were sworn in to do. We have no idea what our job description says. How will you measure your productivity if you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing? I mean, let's compare it to the rubric. If you brought mucus in and said, all right, here is the job description. Now we're going to measure your productivity to the rubric here. Okay, you're supposed to make sure this is done. None of that's done. So everything on this list, you have failed at. So why should you still be working here? This is crazy, man. All of these people are in it together because if they were really trying to stop that mess, they would have fired mucus. You can't tell me somebody that incompetent on the job would still be there if you really want to stop it.
Vet them, process them, and they were just mass releasing people into the U.S. Last May, when Title 42 was initially set to expire, Florida uncovered a memo, a secret memo that was issued to Border Patrol saying, when we get overrun, when Title 42 expires, your direction is open the gates.
You hear that? All you Democrat voters out there coming to a neighborhood near you. A whole heap of illegal immigrants dumped right in. So this fool wanted Title 42 to be bounced out and was talking about it. Now listen, when that happens, I want you to flood the gates. Why aren't these people impeached? Why aren't these people in somebody's jail right now? Why isn't that memo being circulated on all the news networks to show that these folks are encouraging this and they're behind this? Why is that?
Let them in. No processing, no vetting, no court date. And this was a year ago. They had a year. Now, everyone's saying, and the Biden White House is saying, look, Republicans, Democrats alike have historically mass released people into the U.S.
They're lying. See, now, you do realize they're putting us in danger by them sending all of these people into our interior. They are failing at their number one goal and objective as the executive branch is to keep our border secure and our citizens safe. If any American citizen gets harmed or hurt on purpose or by accident by these folks who they're bringing in, the Democrats are directly responsible for it. All of those folks that OD'd on fentanyl, the Democrats are directly responsible for it. Unreal.
That is a lie. That is a fabrication. The judge said in his order,
What did he say?
You caused this crisis.
Yeah.
Biden, you did this.
You did this.
Your policies have reducing detention capacity, mass releasing up to this point. You have caused this. You cannot say this crisis is for any other reason but for your policies, and you must follow the law. And I'm telling you.
But see, they're lawless. Well, you think they care? You think they care about breaking America? Not just the border, breaking America. They love it. They're that kid that every time they get a toy, they're like, let me take it apart and just leave the pieces all over the place. I'm not going to cherish it. I like destroying things. They're destructive.
No U.S. president in history will go down as being weaker, more incompetent, more of a threat to our security of this nation and our border security structures. Biden will be the kryptonite of America, and it is playing out right now.
And he sure is some kryptonite. That man is 100% kryptonite, and probably don't even know it. He's kryptonite not only when it comes down to the border, but on every front. He's kryptonite to America. So one day, if we manage to survive this, we'll be writing history books about how this man and his administration and the deep state at this time and these globalists almost single-handedly destroyed the greatest country on the planet. Now, what is this? Oh, look at this, guys. So apparently somewhere there's a hotel and an American wants to just go right in and get a room. And as he's trying to do that, they're telling him, no, you can't come in. It's a private party. Let's see if we can figure out why they won't let this man come in this hotel.
Okay, well, this is interesting. Well, why not? Because it's private.
Well, wait a minute. Excuse me, son. Who are you? You see this whippersnapper? This snotty-nosed young dude who doesn't look like he's from the U.S. He looks like he might be from South America. I don't want to stereotype him or nothing, but why is he telling him, you can't come in here? Does he look like a hotel manager? I mean, I don't understand why he's saying this.
Hotel.
This is Chicago.
It's closed? No, I just saw some people go inside.
You cannot come in.
Well, why can't I
Oh
come
yeah,
in?
why can't we come in?
Close for you.
Why is it
Oh, it's
closed?
closed for you? See? You see how the Bidens are rolling? You see how these sanctuary cities are rolling? You cannot come in here. It's closed for you. Why is it closed for me and not all those other people? Why is it that when we needed baby food here in the U.S. because of Pete Buttigieg was screwing up the supply chain, why is it that they got baby food and we didn't? Why is it that they didn't have to get the you-know-what? Why was that? Why is it that when they come across and commit a crime, their children aren't ripped from them? Can't separate them. Why do they get free cell phones? Why do they get free hotel stay? Huh? Why do they get free travel and lodge? So in Chicago, this whole hotel has been shut down for who?
For me. Why is it closed for me, though? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So therefore, it's private.
It's private, man. You hear that?
Who are the residents?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I thought this was a hotel.
Snoop around.
Now what? Now I don't understand the designation. Could you please explain it to me?
I love it. This guy's playing stupid. He's playing dumb. They know he knows that they done blocked off this whole hotel. It looks pretty fancy too. Looks pretty nice. To embrace and welcome in the illegal immigrants right there in Chicago. Right there in Chicago. And then let's see where they're going to put these people after they leave this nice fancy hotel. Oh, they're calling the cops
What
on
is
this
the designation?
American citizen. How you like that? How you like that? Yeah, I'm not even here legally, but my rights are being violated. Some guy is here. Can you send the police? Wow. Man, I wish I could just go find a King Kong size boot to put up every single person's butt who's responsible for this.
Hi.
Oh, look at that. Why are these people going in?
Yeah.
What?
Could you just explain that to me? I don't understand.
Me either.
It doesn't look like it's closed.
It's not. Only to us, Americans.
Hi, welcome.
Head scratcher. Whoa, wait a minute.
Where are you from?
Oh, look at that. Wait a minute. Nobody's stopping them? Nobody's standing at the door with their hand right there on the little kids and the lady talking about, well, you can't come in there. Private party. No? So they just go right in. They know that they're supposed to be there. Interesting.
Well, enjoy your stay.
Wow.
Meanwhile,
it is a slap in the face that we as citizens of the United States of America do not have the resources and support, but you're going to bring people who are not citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for, that you took away from us.
Yeah, girl.
That is completely unacceptable.
Tell them.
We are in a humanitarian crisis right now. The black people in Chicago are bleeding on the streets.
Yeah.
Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson had this to say.
Y'all hear that? Now, I don't even want to hear nothing from that woman. Honestly. See, when you look at Chicago and what they just recently did, the person they got rid of and then brought someone just like her, if not worse, in. So listen to what the new mayor has to say about it. See, all of these people who's somewhat waking up, they're still asleep. They're not able to figure out the source of the problem. They're like my dog Shakespeare. God rest his soul. Hopefully all dogs go to heaven. When I bought this beam, I had an old Cocker Spaniel named Shakespeare. Shakespeare chased this light. That beam, he chased that beam all around all day. If I would have did it for 24 hours, Shakespeare would have chased it. He never figured out the source of the light. All he was looking at is the beam, and it bothered him. He was like, I got to find out what that is. I got to kill it, man. I could put it on the wall. He would bite the wall. Put it on the couch. He's biting the couch. But he never stopped to look up and say, hey, you're the source of the beam. You making me look stupid. You got me running around chasing that light, and you got that beam out. He never figured it out. He died chasing the light. Hopefully he wouldn't chase the light in the sky. But nonetheless, these people right here, they are chasing the beam. Yeah, you're mad at what's in front of you. You're talking about this ain't right and this and that. But you're not able to see the same people who you vote for are the ones doing this. So then they're the problem. How about you get rid of them?
Say about the migrant crisis.
Oh yeah, let's hear the new mayor.
Responsibility to make sure that families who are seeking love and support here in the city of Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, that they are not just welcome, but they are service.
You hear that? There you go, Chicago. That's what you voted in. That cone head shaped dude right there. That big bag of softness right there. Let's hear it again, y'all. The slap in the face. The moment where they should be realizing, like, oh God, this guy cares more about them than us. Just like all Democrats.
Elect Brandon Johnson had this to say about the migrant crisis.
We have a responsibility to make sure that families who are seeking love and support here in the city of Chicago and throughout.
You hear that? Love and support. We got a responsibility. So all of you in Chicago that's seeing gunshots, violence, and all of that stuff, it's all of your jobs, your duty to show love and support to people who just want love and support. That's all they want. They're not coming here for jobs and opportunities and all that stuff. They're coming for love and support. And it's our job to do that. Okay. Remember all that love and support they showed them up at Martha's Vineyard? Remember that? They had signs and everything. No one's illegal. We welcome all. Come on, come on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We didn't think I was really coming. Well, what are you doing here? No. Don't touch me. You're filthy. Turn around and get out of here. One day, had him out. And here's this fool up here. We got a responsibility with people who's coming to seek love. And no, you don't. You're an idiot. And they should throw him out of office before he gets sworn in.
Of the state of Illinois, that they are not just welcome, but they are service.
No, there you go. So not only should we welcome them, we should service them. With what? With whose money? With whose resources? Where are you going to shuffle these folks right into? Huh? Are you going to send them to Martha's Vineyard? No. So let's hear now what this sister got to say.
To the young lady on the end here who said that this is a humanitarian crisis.
Oh, humanitarian
My
crisis.
brother was murdered in January. Chicago already has a humanitarian crisis.
That's right, sister.
Yes. We don't have enough resources to support our people here.
That's right.
My mother has to look out the window to see where my brother was shot at because CHA does not want to move her. Okay? So my whole thing is, if we don't have resources to support us here already, why the hell would you all bring people here for one who don't like black people?
You hear them all out there screaming, all those black folks who they are invading their space and dumping these people right into their neighborhoods. They all like they in church. But are they really understanding what's going on? Do they really understand the problem? I mean, it's a great speech and all. See, but at the end of the day, you got to find out who is shining the light. This woman is about to get a revelation about who's shining the light. But the question is, what about all the rest of them folks in the background? Yeah! The next race-baiting politician they throw up in their face and tell them they're holding you down and we all racism and stuff, they'll run right out there and vote for them. So here she is about to go ahead and say, I think I found out who is behind that light.
You all are sitting up here, so this is just to let you all know. This meeting here is a formality. They have to do this. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Whoa, she figured it out. See? She said this meeting here is a formality. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. And she's right. You think Democrats stop and consult with their voters before they just make policies like that? Just drop folks off in their neighborhood? You know, all of that. They don't care. They're like, just vote us in and let us go ahead and reign like tyrants over you.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
You hear that,
we
brother?
gotta go to jail. Don't let the bitches in.
Audience here, we have to bear
Oh, wait. He said, we got to do what we got to do. You know what? Throw them out. Don't let these bees in. Now, wait a minute. Isn't that xenophobia? All of these black folks now all of a sudden are racist, right? Because remember, if you don't just love illegal immigrants being dumped into your neighborhood, then you must be a xenophobe. You got to be some type of racist. Got to be. So why aren't they getting on the news and saying we're down here in Chicago where a whole room full of black racist folks don't want these illegal immigrants shuffled into their neighborhoods? They're not saying that?
responsibility to what's going on now. Because for too long, the black community has been voting for the wrong people for too damn long.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Friday.
She said, we've been voting for the wrong people for too long. So maybe she sees who's actually pointing the light. But the question is, what about the rest of them folks in there? And see, that's the problem. The reason these Democrats do these things is because they got that mate that won't leave them for anything. You know, my wife's not going anywhere. She can't drive. She doesn't have a job. She don't have job skills. I married her when she was 18. She wanted to be a stay-home mom. Now I can just abuse the system. Same thing with the husband. My husband, I got him henpecked. He's not going anywhere. I stay out all night. I never cook, clean, or nothing. Don't even show love towards him. But he's not going anywhere. See, they're in abusive relationships. So what ends up happening is once you don't feel the threat of a breakup, you might just start taking advantage of that relationship. That's why they feel like, man, just dump these folks in there with them. They ain't gonna do. They'll be right back down there voting for us again next year when we tell them racism's on a rampage. So wait, my man Pete right here is about to keep it real.
Morning. Where have Biden and Harris been this entire week as the border collapsed?
Is that a trick question? It's a good question. I don't know, but why would you put them out right now?
They're running away from it.
Because this is their policy. This is the inevitable end state that was always, it was propped up by a Band-Aid in Title 42. If they wanted to enforce Title 8 or an existing immigration policy, they could. A common sense approach like remain in Mexico worked. It could work again. They won't. Problem is, this is their policy, Stuart. I'm surprised they're not handing ballots to the illegals when they cross the border.
Yep.
I mean,
he said it. He said it. He said what we all know. This is broke by design. Right now, they're all going out. We're doing everything we can to stop it. No, you're not. It's broke by design. You're getting the results that you wanted. This is your policy. I always tell people, when they try to act like a problem is greater than them, and they're doing everything they can, and it's just out of control, and we're doing everything we can to stop it. Now you have to ask yourself, are you incompetent at your job, or are you evil? And I err on the side of evil. Nobody's this incompetent to allow this to happen. When every choice that you made this easier, more accessible. So I have to go ahead and say, you're evil, you're corrupt. This is your policy.
that would just make it a lot more efficient based on their viewpoint. They want to facilitate illegality under the guise of asylum. And they're surging troops and surging people there to facilitate more illegality. It's not about.
So they brought troops down there to be help assist in their criminality right there. That's what they did. They're like, you know what? Let's bring the troops down here so that we can have them complicit in our crimes. As we just have them go, everybody go that way. Make a line here. Say, welcome. Here's some baby food, some canned food. Someone. Anybody okay? Everybody okay? That's all they're doing.
About stopping people at the border. It's about making the process. Here's your cell phone. Here's your contact information for your trial in 2026 when you have to voluntarily surrender, which they never do, almost never do. So this is what they want. They know it's bad politics, so they're hiding from it. And they're counting on the media to cover for them. Except for Bill Maloogian and Griff Jenkins and this network, they can count on everyone else to say, well, things are just fine down there.
Bingo. Pete, you just earned yourself a manhood award. But I don't want to get too hasty because Ted Cruz, as we end this segment, is going to get a real manhood award.
We saw back there a couple of hundred people that were sitting there but they've right now, the Biden administration has sped up their processing so that they can process an illegal immigrant in about 2 minutes. They're sending 40 or more buses a day, full buses, full of illegal immigrants to detention facilities. So as fast as they scan them in, they pull out a phone, they scan their documents, they take whatever they say, name, age, what country you're from, and boom, they put them on a bus and send them to facilities. To give you a sense.
Wow. So they done streamlined the process, y'all. Y'all hearing this? 2 minutes, in and out. Like still in the car. All right, we got to be in and out in 2 minutes. So how much vetting could you do in 2 minutes? Maybe just a snapshot. Just look at this guy. You look like a nice person. You're good. Go ahead. 2 minutes. is all we're worth. Our safety in America as citizens is worth 2 minutes. Would you do that if somebody came talking about, I'm here to apply for the babysitting job? You look like a good person. 2 minutes of vetting. Go ahead, now I trust you with my family. You would vet the heck out of that person if you cared about who you were putting them in charge of or giving them access to. But the Biden administration reduces this to 2 minutes. Because we got to hurry up and get them in.
The facilities here can hold roughly 4,600 people. Yesterday, they had 7,000. So you know what they did? They had to release hundreds of people, just release them into the communities. And, a minute ago, you asked about what other states are doing for South Texas. I appreciate that because, look, South Texas is bearing the brunt of this. What the Biden administration is doing to South Texas is wrong. The hospitals here are full. The prisons here are full. The schools here are full. The farmers and ranchers see the dead bodies every day from this travesty.
Maybe Mucus needs to go down there. Throw him in a pile of dead bodies so he can get the stench all over him. This guy's responsible for all of that. That's why he never wants to go down there and see the carnage. That's why there's no Democrats in that crowd back there. They don't want to go down there and see that mess. They already know it's messed up. They're up there somewhere going, la, 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 la. I'll come out to a camera and then try to blame Republicans or something. Or send an operative right into this little conference right here and watch him get ripped to pieces by Ted Cruz. Listen to the smart aleck right here. He's a smart aleck.
And all Joe Biden wants to do is have more people come illegally.
What if specifically the Republican members that are here today, what have you all done to help Joe Biden in this?
Okay. All right. Whoa. So that's a ridiculous and silly question. I want to commend you for being the media and telling a Democrat policy. So let me ask you something.
Now, see, he should have left well enough alone. You see the people already walking away, but this guy going to try to slide in one, talking about something. What is the Republicans done to help the matter? I mean, that. So now he's going to get it. Let me get the man hat ready. Get him, Teddy.
Come on, man. That's been going on for 20 years.
Okay.
Oh, it's been going on for 20 years, man. Come on.
Let me ask you something.
Here
What
it
rate of
comes.
illegal immigration did we have in 2020?
Do
you know anything? I asked you a question. Do you know anything?
How long have you been in office?
I've been in office 11 years
Yeah,
now.
and this has been kicked the count during multiple administrations.
Except you're wrong. Okay, you don't get to argue with me. You asked your question. You asked your question. You don't get. You want to hold a press conference? You can do it over there.
You have multiple
Smack his face,
Hold a
Teddy.
press conference. You can do it over there. All right, so hold on. I'm going to answer his question. The talking point of the Democrats, which this media reporter happily parrot, is, gosh, the problem can't be fixed. There's one little problem with that. It is an utter and complete lie. In 2020, the last year of the Trump presidency, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. You ask, what have I done? I've championed the men and women of Border Patrol. I've championed securing the border. I've championed Remain in Mexico. And we turned this problem around and solved it. And we went from Joe Biden inherited the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. And the first day in office, he made political decisions to cause this problem. And you should be ashamed of yourself because you're a reporter and you're not reporting facts. You're telling lies. Joe Biden made a political decision and they turn a blind eye. If you want to know just how much they turn a blind eye, 6 weeks ago in the Judiciary Committee, I questioned Alejandro Mayorkas. I put up a poster board of colored wristbands. And I asked him, Mr. Secretary, what are these colored wristbands? And he said, I don't know. I have no idea. That was the one bit of his testimony that truly shocked me because just about every illegal immigrant who crosses the border is wearing a colored wristband. They correspond to how many thousands of dollars the immigrants owe the cartel. And the fact that Mayorkas doesn't even know what they are, if you stand on the banks of the Rio Grande River, as I have done many times, you see hundreds or thousands of these wristbands laying in the ground. Sir, I don't know if you stood there, but I know Mayorkas hasn't because he didn't know what the wristbands were.
Oh, my God. You know what? See, this did not go the way that guy thought it would go. This didn't end well. I mean, here he is, little smart aleck. What are you doing about it? Now he's getting beat up by a grown man. So let me get this straight, Teddy. I remember watching that when Mucus said, I do not know what that means. My tongue almost just rolled out like a cartoon character onto the floor. I couldn't even believe he said that. I'm saying, wait a minute. That's one of the fundamental tools that they use. You should know. Do you know anything about your job? I mean, do you know the details? Nothing? So you're just a DHS secretary for nothing? So Teddy ain't finished with him.
And that means he hasn't talked to the Border Patrol agents either. It is immoral. And when those kids cross, the teenage boys who owe thousands of dollars to the cartels, the Biden administration flies them to every city in America. They fly them to Kansas. And there those teenage boys are forced to work for the Mexican drug cartels committing crimes to pay off the money they owe. And if they don't pay it off, they'll murder their families. And I'll tell you, as bad as the boys have it, the girls have it worse. There are thousands upon thousands of teenage girls trapped in sex slavery. And yet, for those of you in the media who don't report on that, you should be ashamed. This is evil. And the reason you don't see any Democrats here is they can't defend this. They're counting on the press not to cover it.
Oh my gosh. Teddy, I'm starting to love Teddy more and more. I mean, I'm glad he didn't hold back on that young boy that had the nerve to try to come in and distribute the blame. He gave him the business, okay? He smacked him around to the point where he's going to say, now go somewhere and think about that. I want you to go somewhere and think about that. I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to make an example out of you. As if the media doesn't know who's behind this, what's behind it, playing completely dumb, acting as if we're still trying to figure out the source of why all these people are coming. And, they'll talk about the symptoms, but not the source. And we're down here and it looks like there's a crisis. There's a lot of people. No. Don't go and look at the after effect. Go to the source. Go find out who's pointing the beam. The Democrats are masters at making people chase the little dot so they don't see who's directing them all over the place. And the media is complicit. And that's why Ted Cruz had to give him the blues. Teddy, give him the blues. Now, let's get back to last night. This is where we ended up, y'all. Back to CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Past 2 years, we have seen the prices for everything skyrocket. From food to gas to utilities and insurance costs, many people's bills are up several $100s a month, including mine. If elected president again, what is the first thing you would do to help bring down the cost to make things more affordable?
Drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill. Yeah.
You dealt with a lot of mass.
Woohoo! That's right. Y'all hear that? Drill, baby, drill. Now, you already know that the environmentalists are going crazy. You know they see he's going to go ahead and start fracking again. We're dying in like 6 weeks. So what it sounds to me as if real common sense people in this audience understands the importance of us being independent when it comes down to our natural resources. And Trump needs to highlight that to the CNN person, but she don't want to talk about that. She don't want to talk about that. So as we get ready to close out this part of him smacking her around, then we're going to move into smacking the media around because they were mad that Trump smacked her around. So let's go ahead and hear what he has to say about this.
When you were in office this year, there have already been more than 200 mass shootings in 2023. If you are reelected, are there any new gun restrictions that you would sign into law?
I would do numerous things.
200 mass shootings in 2023. They're not talking about the kind of mass shootings that the Democrats like to exploit. See, she's probably talking about 3 or more people being shot at once, which happens all the time in Democrat-ran cities, and not by white nationalists with ARs. See, these are gang violence. These are folks up there just getting revenge on folks. See, they count those. They throw it in there. Notice she didn't break that down, though. You know, you'll leave it up to the viewer who might be ignorant and think that, wow, 200 and something mass shootings this year already? Well, then why aren't we hearing about all those? See, because if it was 200 and something mass shootings by a white guy carrying an AR-15, we would hear it every day. But we're not. That happens every once in a while when they feel we can exploit this. So the bulk of those shootings are not coming from folks running around with AR-15.
For instance, schools, we would harden, very much harden. Smart. And I'm a very believer. I believe in teachers. I love teachers. I think they're incredible. And they love the children, not quite like the parents, but they love the children in many cases almost as much. Many of these teachers are soldiers, ex-soldiers, ex-policemen. Yeah. They're people that really understand weapons. And you don't need 5% of the teachers would be more than you could ever have if you're going to hire security guards. But in addition to that, have security guards, you have to harden your entrances. You have to make schools safe. And you can make other places safe. Smart. But it is a big mental health problem in this country more than anything else. And remember, we have 700 million guns, 700 million. Many people, if they don't have a gun, they're not going to be very safe. I mean, if they don't have a gun, it gives them security. Now, you need them for entertainment, you need them for hunting, you need them for a lot of different things. But there are people that if they didn't have the privilege of having a gun in some form, many of them would not be alive today. You know,
especially in Democrat-ran cities where they're letting their criminals out while wanting to take the guns from the law-abiding citizens. There you have it, New York, Los Angeles. Yeah, let's get the guns off of the law-abiding citizens, let the criminals out of jail, okay, and then cut back on the police. There you have it. Complete chaos in their cities. And yet, cops like, man, I'm not going in there. I mean, if I go in there and try to save a life, they're going to call me a racist, police brutality. So leave the citizens to fend for themselves. And they want to remove guns as they unleash Antifa and Black Lives Matter on city after city after city, tearing up your property, dragging you out your car. No telling what they might do to you. No telling.
There's a certain country that had a very strict policy on guns, very, very strict.
Which country?
And, Brazil, okay?
She's gonna try
Brazil, very strict. And the former president of Brazil, and the killing was incredible. They were walking into people's homes and killing people. If you look at Chicago, Chicago has the single toughest gun policies in the nation.
Now, that doesn't make sense, Trump. Because the first thing I hear come out of all these Democrats' mouths, you want to get that it's all about gun violence and this and that, and we got to get them off the streets and be that. But yet, all of your strict policies don't work. Why is that? These are common sense things. If you think your policies are helping the situation and the situation is getting worse, why should we implement your policies? Nobody thinks like that?
They are so tough you can't breathe. New York, too, and other places also. All of those places are the worst and most dangerous places.
Jump in, CNN lady.
That's not the answer.
No new restrictions that you would sign if reelected, Mr. President. Good evening, Mr. President. Title 42 is expected to expire tomorrow. Our southern border and now our northern border are experiencing record migration. We learned on May 2nd that the Biden administration plans on deploying 1,500 troops to the southern border. Do you agree with deploying troops to the border? And how will a Trump administration slow down the rate of migrants coming across all our borders?
Get him, Trump.
A very fair question, especially since tomorrow is going to be a day of infamy. You're going to have tens of thousands of people pouring into our country.
All over the place.
Even the judge, the judge overruled them when they wanted to terminate it early. And he said, that you better extend this thing. The judge in Texas said, I hope you're going to extend this. But this is my policy that they're letting terminate because they lost in court. They wanted to go earlier. You're going to have millions of people pouring into our country right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
Now, are y'all all hearing him make all of this common sense? Now, when we get to the media's reaction, it's going to be amazing how if you did not watch Trump yourself and you just listen to them, you'll see why so many people have been deceived. This is what red-pilled me when I watched Trump come down that escalator and he gave his speech and I watched the whole thing. And you would have thought I did not watch anything when I turned on CNN that night. I'm thinking, well, what conference did they watch? That's what I wonder. So this is how your mind can be controlled. If you are watching this and you're going, that makes sense. Everything Trump's talking about, you would think you would turn on the TV and they'd be like, yeah, Trump did make sense. But wait until you hear what they had to say about him.
These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country, and this should not be allowed to happen. How they're not going to do a version of Title 42 or my Title 42, which was tough. If people are sick and have infectious diseases and lots of other problems, we don't want them being into our country. We have enough problems right now. We have problems like we've never had in the history of our country.
Yeah, tell that to the black people in Chicago who just got a big dump of illegal immigrants right there in their city. Got the nerve to be up in that council meeting talking about something. This ain't right. It ain't right. We got our own problems here in Chicago and y'all bring, hey, man, simmer down now. You voted for that mess.
Mr. President,
our country
the
is
reason
being
it's ending.
destroyed.
The reason it's ending is because the health policy, the COVID era pandemic emergency, is coming to an end. That's what Title 42 was. You put it in place because of COVID.
True, but
when it comes to big questions about what your immigration policy would look like if you are reelected,
bring up some negativity. Y'all ready for this one, y'all? She's going back to the kids being ripped from their parents.
Some of your Republican rivals have criticized you for not fulfilling the promises that you made on the campaign trail, like finishing the border wall. So how did voters know that you would get those done if you're reelected?
I did finish the wall. I built a wall. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and I finished it. And then I said, we have to build some more because there are areas like water going through a dam.
Now watch her.
There
Watch
are some
her.
areas where a lot of
This is right here. This revealed why CNN got smacked around. They threw this girl, this Pop-Tart out there to debate Trump. They tried to give us the bait and switch, talking all that trash. Yeah, we're just going to let the people ask the questions. She's going to be so combative. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Somebody's in this chick's ear telling her, bring up this, bring up that, bring up this. Hurry up. Don't let him go ahead and talk. And check this out.
A lot of people are coming. You close up one and they come into another. And we started another 100 miles of wall. In fact, I said to my people, if we start this and don't finish it, and then we have a rigged election, I'm sorry to say it.
The election was not rigged, Mr. President. You can't keep saying that all night long.
And so
she hates that. That right there is the holy water to them vampires. It was a rigged election. The election was not rigged, Mr. President. You can't keep saying that. Why can't I? I mean, y'all lie all the time on your network. We never come up there. You know what, CNN? You can't keep saying that Trump's a Russian agent. Okay? You can't keep saying that Trump's a traitor. You can't keep saying that. They do it all the time. And it's not true. And Trump's saying something that is true. And that's why she's saying you can't keep saying that. Because here at CNN, we don't like truth.
Then they took over and they decided not to finish it. It would have taken them 3 weeks. I built hundreds of miles of wall. If we didn't have it, it would be hard to believe it could be any worse. They're just letting people flow into our country. Look, a country has to have borders. There's never been anything like is happening to our country right now.
You built about 52 miles of new wall when you were in office, Mr. President.
You think she knew that number off the top of her head? As he was sitting there going over that, somebody in that room was typing it up. Okay, find out how many, all right, there you go. He only built 52 miles of it, okay? Yeah, that's what he's doing. So now he has to come in and correct her. Because, see, that wall would have been done. The money was already allocated towards it, but the Democrats got in and said, forget it. Leave all that metal land out. We'll go ahead and honor the contract, but we don't want the wall built.
It wasn't the complete wall. One other thing that with
no, but I have to respond to that.
With your immigration, it was only about 52 miles of new wall.
Can he
respond? This is what she does. I built hundreds of miles. Some of the wall was up there, and it would be laying on the ground, rusted, rotten steel, rusted, rotten wood.
Yeah.
A little. And what the radical left, crazy Democrats did,
they are crazy.
If there's a piece of wood laying down, they consider that a wall. I built 30-foot walls that go down 7 feet into the ground. If there was a little piece of wood sitting in the ground, they said, oh, he's not building a wall. We already had a wall. Because this is the game. They're a party of disinformation.
It's not a game, Mr. President. It's about 52 miles of new wall. One other immigration policy you have.
Look, you hear that? It's not a game, Mr. President. There's 52 miles of it. And then another immigration policy you have. Why ain't she talking about the good immigration policies that stopped illegal immigration? See, if his policies were so bad, why were they effective? Because she wants them to be bad because they were effective. So here she comes again.
New wall. I built new wall.
52 miles.
For hundreds of miles.
CBP, Mr.
What I did is I
President.
replaced other wall that was laying down, that was up and rotting in the ground for 30 years. Some of it was steel that you couldn't
Mr.
even
President,
see.
it was only about 52 miles of new wall. But moving on, another immigration policy you had was the zero tolerance immigration policy that
That's right.
separated
Should
families
be.
at the border. If you are reelected, are you ruling out instituting that?
Well, when you have that policy, people don't come. If the family hears that they're going to be separated, they love their family.
What did you think he would say? That's what I want to know. What did you think he would say, lady? Okay. If you do things and put policies in place that will discourage folks and make them realize there's a penalty to pay. This ain't one of those, come on, well, everybody come in. Nope. I could lose my kids. I can be thrown in the slammer. All of these negative things could happen. I won't be met with Vatican care and community college and baby food and cell phones. So that right there kills the incentive to come, which the Biden administration is doing the opposite of everything that Trump put in place to discourage these people. Thus, those numbers went straight up.
they don't come. So I know it sounds harsh, but if you remember they said I was building prisons for children. It turned out that it was Obama that was building
Interrupting.
Would you re-implement that if you're
You hear that?
reelected?
You hear that? You hear that? See, no, don't let Obama look bad. Don't go ahead and allow him to expose the part that the Democrats played. Don't let him expose the hypocrisy coming from the Democrat Party. Interrupt that man. She barely let him get that out of his mouth before she came in. Another one of your policies you made.
Well, we have to save our country, all right? We
So it
can't
sounds
afford,
like that's a yes.
You know, when you say to a family that if you come, we're going to break you up, they don't come. And we can't afford to have any more. Look at New York City. Look what's happening.
Sucks.
They're living in Central Park in New York City. The city is being swamped. Los Angeles is being swamped. Iowa is being swamped.
Girl.
Our whole country is being destroyed. Millions of people are coming into our country. And you know what the number is going to be, in my opinion, by the end of the year? Not the 4 million that you hear and the 3 million.
More than that?
I think it's going to be 15 million people. And in these people, they have no idea where they come from. They come from 129 different countries.
Got to stop him.
120, not just the 4 that we talked
Just to put a button on that, it sounds like what you're saying is that you're not ruling out re-implementing that immigration policy.
So out of all of that, y'all hear that? Let's end with a negative note. As if that's going to make us go, well, that mean Donald Trump's talking about separating kids from their parents. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So she had to stop him from rattling off all of this crap that's going on because of legal immigration. And the thing that she took away from all of that, okay, well, it sounds like you are going to implement separating kids from their parents. Unbelievable. That's why I have no mercy on about CNN when it comes down to them trying to pull this crap.
Policy. I want to get to another voter.
The current administration has made it clear that we should continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Do you support this decision? And how would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin?
It's an important question, so important, because we're giving away so much equipment. We don't have ammunition for ourselves right now. We don't have ammunition for ourselves. We're giving away so much. But here's the thing. I have to say it to start off. No longer matters. If I were president, this would have never happened. And even the Democrats admit that.
Now watch this instigator. This part, when I watched it live, infuriated me. I'm like, why are you up here instigating a fight? As Trump wisely is addressing this. And listen to the instigator.
Putin knew it would have never happened. And his pipeline would have never happened. A lot of things would have never happened. But this would never happen. And all those dead people.
That's all she took out of that. That's all. Like, as he's talking about, which Democrats said that, Mr. President? Who cares? First of all, I did hear Democrats saying, yeah, most likely if Trump was the president. I think it was Van Jones might have said that. But one of them was like, man, yeah, if Trump was president, I doubt if it would have happened. Okay, but no, not her. See, she right now is not paying attention to what Trump is saying. She's trying to figure out a way to undermine what Trump is saying.
Both Russian and Ukrainian, they wouldn't be dead today. And all those cities that are blown up and disintegrated right to the ground, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, now, here's the problem. We've given so far $171 billion. They've given, meaning European Union, which is approximately the same size altogether as our economy.
So we get
They've
pimped
given
out?
about 20. So we're at 170, let's say, and they're at 20. You don't have to know too much about history to realize, or geography, to realize that they're a little bit more affected than we are. Yeah. Okay, so they've got to put up a lot.
Now you know what that sounds like to me. For all the dummies, it sounds like this man is using common sense. It sounds like to me when he said our leaders are dumb, that was true, and yet they didn't want people to know that, so they got to make him look as if he's dumb. Because everything he's saying, if you're a common sense person, you would be sitting there going, that does make sense, man. Why are we always the ones? That's why the propagandist right here has to constantly interrupt him and try to undermine everything he says and bring up all these little things that just, and this and that, and this and that. She's like a big fat tick. That's what she is, just jumping in.
Lot more money because they're taking advantage of us like every other country did. That's why I ended NAFTA and replaced it with the USMCA, Mexico,
But on
Canada.
this issue, Mr. President, I should know, I don't know any Democrats who have said they don't believe Putin would have invaded if you were president. But her question is, would you continue to give Ukraine money and weapons if you're elected? What's the answer?
I have a very good relationship with President Zelensky because, as you know, he backed me up with the phony impeachment hoax number one when he said the president didn't do anything wrong. So I happen to like. So I happen to.
You hear that? You hear that? That is her whole goal, is let me spar with Trump. So instead of talking about the phony impeachment, Okay, what she's going to do is talk about something. That's when you asked him to investigate your opponent. What do you realize what's going on right now with Joe Biden? You do realize that Joe Biden is implemented in all of that corruption that Trump was asking for that investigation to look into? She don't want to talk about that, though. She just wants to make it appear that Trump asked for that investigation to help his campaign and his chances of winning.
Yeah, that's right. And I was totally exonerated, by the way. Just a waste of time and money.
You were impeached over that. You were impeached over that, but let's stay on topic.
Now, see, this is why she got slapped around by the audience. And yet the critics are out there talking about, did you hear those people in the audience? They were all Trump fans. They were clapping this and this and that. They're trying to make it seem like these people are demons. They're demonizing the crowd and trying to make it seem like the crowd was sadistic and enjoyed Trump's propaganda and all of that stuff. In reality, they're clapping because they see the propagandists. They're clapping against her because they see what she's trying to do. As she sits back, but you were impeached over it. But I was exonerated of it. So, but you still was impeached over it.
Here, Mr. President, because the question is, would you give Ukraine weapons?
I was impeached by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi.
But the question here is, would you give Ukraine
She tried to save Nancy. I was impeached by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi. But the question here,
weapons and funding if you were
I would sit down. Let me just put it a nicer way. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
24 hours?
How would you settle that war in one day?
How would you settle that war?
I'll meet with Putin. I'll meet with Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they
Here
both
comes
have
the instigator.
strengths. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over. It'll be absolutely
over. Do you
over.
want Ukraine to win this war?
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. We're not even going to get through this tonight because she just ticked me off. Do you want Ukraine to win the war? So you know what she's trying to do? She's trying to set Trump up to be a Putin puppet. She's trying to make it seem like, yeah, that whole relationship with you and Vladimir Putin obviously is Russia collusion. If you're not automatically on Ukraine's side, then you're carrying water for Putin. So how dare she? Who asked her to ask that question? That's my question.
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking down this country.
What an honorable answer. You hear the crowd? I guess now all those people clapping over that rational, smart solution and answer are all Putin puppets. We're anti-American.
Can I just follow up on that? You said you don't think in terms of winning and losing.
Can I just follow up on that? Because I'm trying to trap you and I'm trying to paint you out to be anti-American and you love Putin. So here's our follow-up.
Mr. President, can I just follow up on that because that's a really important statement
let me
that you
just
just
follow
made
up.
there. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying.
Now she should be saying, thank you. That's wonderful. We don't want to see that either. That's what we don't want to see. Now he's about to give her the wisest response ever and watch the nasty thing that she tries to do.
And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
But you won't say that you want Ukraine to win. You
know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because they're
Trump. That's why he's the GOAT. Hear her, but you won't say you want Ukraine to win. I don't care. Honestly, I want that mess ended. That's all. But here she is. You won't say you want Ukraine. She's trying to make him pick sides right now and put him in an awkward position to negotiate if he wins.
For 20 billion, we're in for 170, and they should be, and they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I got with NATO.
But
when I sat down, I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars that they weren't paying under Obama and Bush and all of these other presidents. That's why they're able to help them fight the war because of the money I got. But I want Europe.
What's happening in Ukraine?
I want Europe.
Let's talk about what's happening in Ukraine
because they're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of jerks. Yep. We're spending $170 billion for faraway land, and they're right next door to that land, and they're in for 20. I don't think so.
When it comes to what's happening there, when you were in office, you said that you respected President Putin. Do you still respect him today?
Here comes the McCarthyism. They're pulling out all the stops. Let's go ahead now and try to vet him against Putin or make it appear that he's soft for Putin. Yeah. So you said you respect him. Do you still? She's an instigator. She's trying to pick a fight, and Trump wisely handles her.
He made a tremendous mistake. He's a smart guy. You know, I remember I said he was smart. She was smart. They said
he's wonderful. Look what he did. He made a mistake. But he's a smart guy. She's a smart guy. But you know who isn't? Biden. Biden's a dumb guy. Yeah. So what he's saying is, I'm not even going to pick one of these dictators or people who rule their countries, because then you try to say, well, why did you just compliment Putin? So he brought in Xi, and he's talking from the perspective of, you got to be smart to run a whole country like that. Two of the most powerful countries on the planet, both of those leaders got to be smart. Not saying that they're not evil, but they're smart. Okay? You got to respect the enemy like that. But that enemy do not respect Joe Biden. Neither one of them respects Joe Biden. They respected Trump.
He said President Xi of China, right? Is smart. Okay, 1.5 billion people. He's the ruler of 1.5 billion people. He's a smart guy. How dare he say he's smart? Of course he's smart. They want you to say he's a stupid person. Okay, he's not a stupid person. He's very smart. He's very cunning. And Putin made a bad mistake, in my opinion.
What was his mistake?
His mistake was going in. He would have never gone in if I was president.
Thank you.
We used to talk about it there.
Now, wow, here comes the low blow. We're going to end on this.
He is a war criminal.
Oh my God. Did you just hear what she said? Do you think that he is a war criminal? Watch how he wisely handles this.
What?
Do you believe that Putin is a war criminal? He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of Ukrainian men and women and
I think it's something that should not be discussed now. It should be discussed later, because right now we have to get a war. If you say he's a war criminal, it's going to be a lot tougher to make a deal to get this thing stopped. Because if he's going to be a war criminal where people are going to go and grab him and execute him, he's going to fight a lot harder than he's fighting, under the other circumstance. That's something to be discussed at a later date. Right now, we want to get that war settled.
See? So you see this nasty chick? That's why she got called a nasty person. Well, do you think it's better to just say it? She's trying to instigate a fight. So now you want him to answer this on national TV. He's not even in the presidency right now. You're talking about he is a war criminal. That would be the dumbest thing ever to say. And here she is trying to instigate that, trying to push him towards that. I mean, all respect is gone for her, for their network, and I'm glad Trump mopped the floor with them. I'm glad their own audience finds them to be deplorable for letting him come on and smack her around. I hope her career goes straight into the tank for allowing herself to be used like that. Go and ask him something stupid like that, and then when he says, hey, we ain't even got to talk about that right now. Here she is, but don't you think it's better just call it for what it is?
And I'm not talking about the money either. I'm talking about all the lives that are being... The number of people being killed in that war is far greater than you're hearing. When they blow up a city and those buildings come pouring down and then they say 2 people were injured, no, hundreds and thousands of people are being killed, and we have to get that war settled.
Why did you take those documents?
Makes me sick. We ain't gonna get through the rest of it, because I still ain't got to the part where the media comes back in. So we're gonna end for now. But did you see that? This is a first of all, it's a workshop on how to remain calm under pressure. Know the subjects that you're defending and talking about. Come prepared whenever you go into a debate, because he already knew. He knew when I get there, CNN is not going to be in there and honor their deal. Their whole goal and objective is to Jerry Springer me. Bring me onto the set, put me in the back, and set me up. I'm thinking I'm coming on to talk about one thing, and then when I get out there, there's 7 women out there. Which one of these women are you, the father of their child? Stupid stuff like that. It was all an ambush that backfired all the way on them. Trump came out the winner. Now, if you watch the news, and I'm talking about the fake news, you would think Trump went out there and made a complete buffoon of himself, made a complete clown out of himself. You would think that this man right here is incompetent, he's not smart, he's impulsive, he's a white nationalist, he's a xenophobe, he's a sexist, all of that stuff. You would think that. So now you're getting a real-time example, because I know all of you knew this, but seeing the drastic difference and takeaway from watching and listening to how he handled this to where when we get to the media, you would think that, what did I watch? None of what they just said I looked at and said, yeah, that's pretty accurate. They are about to make up the biggest lies about this man, which shows how our country got to the level that it is right now, to where you got all of this division in our country because of the narratives that they crafted by either omitting information, chopping stuff up, flipping it, creating narratives, false narratives, adding a different context to what he was saying. All these little things that they do to manipulate the people. So I'm hoping that at some point the people will wake up and find out who is the people behind the little beam, the light. That's what I'm trying to do, man. And YouTube don't want me to do it. So I need y'all to continue to share my videos. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, and all of that. Follow my, what is that thing? Oh, Rumble. Don't forget Rumble. Follow me on all that mess, just in case they unexist me. You'll know how to find me, okay? So I want y'all to have a great weekend. I ain't done with them yet. I can't wait to get to the part where the media comes in. And you're about to hear some of the dumbest things coming out of the media I've ever heard. I'm sure right now that they can't top it. Oh, I'm just joking. They will top it. Every time I think they're dumb, they get dumber. So I'm just trying to hit that utopian where they're the dumbest. I'm like, yo, man, I want to reach nirvana. I want to find the ultimate dumbest statement of all times. So they always best themselves. So God bless y'all. God bless America. We're going to get out of here. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll come back and do part 3 so that we can get, look at this. I'm going to give y'all, look through it quick. Look, yeah, you see it? Oh, look at all the dummies. Y'all see the dummies? I'm giving you a snapshot. Giving y'all a snapshot of the dummies. Yeah, that's a quick snapshot of the dummies, y'all. Woo, can't wait to get to the dummies. All right, let's get out of here. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. This is awesome. Trump gets the Manhattan. God bless y'all. Take care.